that these vending machines that influencers are getting would cause so much drama?
Poppi is getting called out big time.
You guys, this Poppi vending machine debacle is really one for the books.
Can I just be a hater real quick?
Poppi's getting called out for being stupid and out of touch and
Poppi,
having all these influencers.
$1,000.
Huge fridges that are so environmental.
Poppi just pulled off one of the most tone-deaf marketing stunts in recent memory. It's up there with the Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad and the Bud Light Up for Whatever campaigns. Poppi basically torched their reputation overnight, something their founder, Allison Ellsworth, has spent almost a decade building and is a core pillar of their sales strategy. Will Poppi recover? Or is this the beginning of the end? Is Poppi even good? Keep watching to find out. Okay, so a few weeks ago, Poppi aired a 60-second Super Bowl commercial.
Stop spiraling. Get a Poppi.
Get a Poppi.
Get a Poppi.
But that's not what pissed people off. Along with the ad, Poppi sent these giant vending machines to a bunch of influencers as part of the campaign. Influencers were showing these vending machines getting trucked in and set up in their living rooms, and the internet went wild with it. People were reacting to these TikToks saying how out of touch this move was.
It just feels very out of touch now, and I don't think it's doing what you think it's doing.
How these machines would have been better off for teachers and first responders.
Why don't you just send this to nurses and teacher lounges?
How the campaign wasn't inclusive.
I don't see any black influencers getting a Poppi vending machine delivered to their doorstep.
And it mostly just rubbed people the wrong way. You also had their biggest competitor, Olipop, fanning the flames. Their social media manager went into the comments of these reactions claiming that the vending machines cost $25,000 each, and how Poppi spent millions on the TV ad. To be fair, there are also people saying, who cares? This is literally what influencers are for. They're there to influence you. And with any good brand feud, the media hopped in. Everyone and their moms started talking about this. The situation got so big that their founder, Allison Ellsworth, went on TikTok to address the situation head on.
I've been hearing a lot of negativity, and so I wanted to get on here and chat with you guys directly.
And let me tell you, she just added fuel to the fire. As if it were a part 2 to the vending machine scandal, she gave the classic, "We hear you."
First of all, I want to say, I hear you.
She blamed Olipop.
And there's a lot of misinformation being spread out there by one of our competitors.
And she said it was always their intention to share these vending machines with the masses.
It was always our intention to share these with you through marketing events, community pop-ups, and giveaways.
But she ends the video calling on us to tell them what to do with the machines.
Help us nominate your friends, your family, your favorite teacher's lounge.
So they didn't intend to share? I don't get it. And again, Allison got roasted for it.
I do like pointing out misinformation in statements. I like that a lot. Except
Out there by one of our competitors.
when you blame someone else for the problem, especially if it's your competitor.
The thing is, this single PR disaster unraveled years and years of goodwill that Allison built with her brand. I'll tell you how. Poppi was started by Allison and Stephen Ellsworth back in 2017. The story that they've told countless times is that they had both worked in oil and gas.
I worked in oil and gas research. And then I went on the road and started working oil and gas. I ended up working as an independent contractor in oil and gas. We both worked in oil and gas before we did this.
Allison started developing stomach problems and started taking apple cider vinegar. Conveniently, when the apple cider vinegar craze was happening. And it miraculously cured her ailments, but it tasted bad. So she started mixing apple cider vinegar with a bunch of fruit juices, bottled it up, called it Mother, and started selling it at the farmer's market. Just after 3 weeks of doing that, by the powers of God, I guess, someone from Whole Foods stumbled upon their booth and was like, "You gotta be in Whole Foods."
One of our customers pulled me aside. She said, "You know, you guys need to be in Whole Foods." She goes, "Well, I'm actually the buyer." The Whole Foods buyer tried our product at the farmer's market and said, "You guys have to be in Whole Foods."
"Your product looks fantastic. Here's my card." She tried it and she's like, "You guys have to be in Whole Foods."
Totally normal. This story is important because Poppi tells it everywhere. Anytime Allison is interviewed, this is the go-to.
We actually had a buyer from a huge grocery store come by and say, "You guys need to be in this grocery store."
I don't have any contradicting origin stories, but you know that gut feeling you get that something just ain't right? Not long after, in 2018, Allison and Steven get on Shark Tank.
Hi, Sharks. I'm Allison Ellsworth.
And I'm Stephen Ellsworth. And together, we're the co-founders of Mother Beverage.
Famously, Mark Cuban cringes at how gross Mother tastes.
Soda. That's the idea. So our top sellers are lime ginger, raspberry.
But they score a deal with Rohan Oza, who knows a thing or two about the beverage industry. He worked at Coca-Cola and he invested in Bai, Smart Water, Health Aid, among others.
I'm going to give you an offer.
Whoa, Kitty!
I'm going to give you an offer. But the valuation is not what you want it to be.
Mother gets $400,000 in exchange for 25% of the company. And I think this episode of Shark Tank tells you a lot about what Poppi went on to become. Beverage titan invests in fledgling brand, reinvents it into something completely different, and sells the humble beginnings story to the masses. During the episode, for some reason, Allison and Stephen also get ripped for doing their own bottling and distribution.
We have already started to finance a fully automated bottling line, 200,000 bottles a week.
Why would you want to be in the manufacturing business?
I just can't believe you guys. That's a disaster.
I don't personally see anything wrong with that, but I guess it's a waste of money to the investors. Because according to the Sharks, all you gotta have is a good founder's story.
In this space, the first thing is, do you have a functional story?
And dedication to sell a bottled drink.
But actually, I'm not smart enough to have created my own beverage ever. I find smart entrepreneurs and I partner with them.
So Allison and Stephen go back and start building with their Shark Tank money and Rohan's industry knowledge and connections. Turns out they couldn't trademark Mother, so they did a complete rebrand. They also changed the contents of their drink. They found that people preferred a can over a bottle. They found that people didn't want to drink something with vinegar in the name. They changed their target audience to be all Gen Z. And while they still included a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in each can, they pivoted the whole thing to a low sugar, high fiber, prebiotic soda. This is the original Mother, precursor to Poppi. And this is Poppi now. Honestly, all good moves. And I'm no conspiracy theorist, but all of this happened during 2018 and 2020. Conveniently, this was when Olipop, which launched in 2019, was taking off. And Olipop's whole value prop was their scientific approach as a low sugar, high fiber, prebiotic soda. I can't corroborate anything, but this timing seems a little too on the nose. I think it's very interesting that two completely separate companies started the same kind of soda at the exact same time, but timing wouldn't be on Poppi's side for much longer. So Poppi was getting ready to launch their new brand, new formula, new everything. But there was a problem.
Concerns continue to grow over COVID-19. Local grocery stores have been working around the clock to keep shelves stocked for the community.
We have seen these long lines of shoppers who are buying groceries. Panic shopping has left store shelves empty.
With stores wiped out and no one caring about a new drink, Poppi was on life support. So Allison threw a Hail Mary and did what any struggling business did at the time. She went on TikTok, convincing people to support their small business and buy Poppi directly. And it worked.
I woke up, we'd gone viral with millions of views. We'd sold like $100,000 on Amazon that night while we were sleeping.
They made $200,000 in a single day. From there, Poppi went through all of the business and marketing things that you would expect from any company. Allison became Poppi's chief brand officer, ceding most of the business things to traditional business folk. She went on talk shows parading the same origin story from before. She appeared in Poppi's social media often as the face of the brand.
Have any of you guys ever had horrible stomach problems from bloating to indigestion and just couldn't go to the bathroom?
And she and Stephen even did an episode of House Hunters.
My pool. I know. I have to go look. I really want to live in the suburbs.
Our lives are going to be over if we move out to the suburbs.
So dramatic.
Last year, Poppi aired their first Super Bowl ad.
This will be the last moment you ever think of soda as being a dirty word.
And it was a hit. They rode that wave into this year's Super Bowl, which brings us back to Allison's address to the people. Because naturally, when faced with a dire situation, you go back to what's worked before. You hit TikTok. But it didn't go as well as the first time. Presumably because they're no longer a small business, what they did was out of touch, and the outcome was of their own doing. The press they're getting now is on the same level as when Kendall Jenner solved police brutality with a can of Pepsi. So far this year, we know that Poppi has spent about $16 million on the Super Bowl placement, about $3 to $4 million to get the ad made, and another $2 to $3 million for the vending machine campaign. So while those vending machines might not cost $25,000 a piece like Olipop claimed, Poppi did spend $25 million just to get trampled on by their competitor who had zero Super Bowl footprint before this debacle. Poppi's annual revenue in 2024 was between 150 and 200 million, so this campaign wasn't nothing, but it also wasn't a 15-leg parlay that only God could cash. And you could argue that any press is good press. A lot of people didn't even know what Poppi was before this whole thing blew up. But I think Allison didn't even need to come out and talk about this controversy. Just like the Lunchley moldy cheese situation, people would have forgotten about it in a week. Instead, you got people like me going into the receipts because this is a juicy, vinegary story. Meanwhile, the world of low-sugar, prebiotic soda is getting bigger and more competitive. The success of Poppi and Olipop over the last few years has gotten the eyes of Big Soda. Coke just launched Simply Pop to compete with them. Poppi is also facing scrutiny for their misleading claims about their soda. They're currently being sued in California for false and misleading advertising. Basically, Poppi uses slogans like, "for a healthy gut." And while Poppi does contain a fiber called inulin, which does promote a healthy gut, the reality is that an entire can of Poppi doesn't have enough of it for humans to realize the benefits. This lawsuit hasn't been resolved yet, but Poppi did adjust its marketing. Before the suit was filed, Poppi cans showed the "Be Gut Happy, Be Gut Healthy" message. And now the cans show it's time to love soda again. And I wondered why Olipop wasn't getting sued too. It turns out, nutritionally, Poppi is an inferior product. And I promise, I'm not an Olipop shill. Although Olipop, if you want to give me money, I'm here to take it. Email me. If we compare Poppi's orange flavor to Olipop's, my personal favorite, there's actually a significant difference in the ingredients, despite both being marketed as a low-sugar soda. Olipop has more than double the calories of Poppi, but you can burn off the extra 25 calories with like 5 minutes of walking. What's more notable is that Olipop contains 9 grams of fiber, which is 32% of your daily needs, while Poppi has 2 grams, which is less than a quarter of what's in Olipop. It even says on Poppi's label that this is not a significant source of fiber. This message is a legal requirement, but it doesn't say that on Olipop's label. Other nutritional things, Olipop sodas on average contain almost 10% juice, while Poppi sodas on average have a little under 4% juice. Poppi does still have a whole tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in it, the only identity it has left from what it started as. And Olipop's fiber is a lot more complicated than Poppi's, but whether or not that makes a difference is up for debate. And if we're being real, what really matters to most people is if it tastes good. So we're gonna try them. Today, we are going to try every Poppi and Olipop flavor. Then, we're going to judge which is the better of the two and guess which is Poppi and which is Olipop. And we're going to place every can of Olipop and Poppi on a tier list. And to be as objective as possible, I'm bringing in my wife Steph and we're going to rank them together.
Hi.
Okay, so before we get started, let's talk about what the tiers mean. S tier means goated. It hits every single time. A tier is really good. If it's available, I'm gonna take it. B tier is mid. C is not good. D is undrinkable and should have never been invented. So the first flavor that we're gonna try is, of course, the classic cola.
Both taste so similar.
So this one is trying to basically mimic Coke.
It's not bad. It does taste like a watered down Coke. The left one is a little sweeter, I think.
This one is definitely less sweet. I think I prefer this one more just because it tastes closer to a Coke, and maybe it's because it's sweeter. But you're right, I think they both still taste sort of like a watered down Coke, with this one being more Cokey than this one.
And sweeter. I don't know which one I like better though.
I think I like that one more. I think I do like the less sweeter one. This one has more of a herbally Cokey flavor, and this one is like just sort of sweet. It's just sweet. Which one do you like better?
I think they're both okay.
I think this one is just slightly better than this one. Which one do you think is Olipop and which one do you think is Poppi?
I have no idea, but if I were to guess, I would say the sweeter one is Poppi.
I think I would guess the same thing. I honestly think I'd put them in B. This one in a higher B. This one may be in a C.
I think they're both mid, but I do agree that that one is better.
I'm gonna say B too. So this one is Olipop?
Yes.
Olipop. Okay, next we have my personal favorite, orange. I'm a little biased about this one because I've had the Olipop orange and I love it.
Too.
I think that's the Olipop. Don't hate this one. This one tastes a little bit more like an orange juice than an orange soda. This one actually tastes like an orange soda. I feel like this is the Olipop right off the bat because it does taste better. And it is an S tier.
Like orange cough medicine. Oh, I don't like that at all. That's not good. And because I don't like it at all, I know that's Poppi because I also have the Olipop orange one. Oh, you know what it smells like? It smells like you just uncapped a Sunny D.
I think you're right. I think it does kind of taste like a Sunny D, which I'm not mad at. They're not bad. I think you're right. It is a little bit more nostalgic and it doesn't quite taste like orange soda, but more like an orange juice, but not like a real orange juice. This is clearly Olipop.
Yes.
S tier.
I'll give that to you.
But I think this is, to me, still a B tier.
Oh my god, no.
Because I love orange soda.
I think that's a D.
You think this is a D tier? I don't think this is undrinkable by any means.
Oh my god, no. I
Okay,
can't even...
all right. I mean, look, I'll give it to you. It's perfectly fine.
I can't even stand the smell of it. I still stand by D.
D tier, high D. Okay, next we have another personal favorite. Their versions of Dr. Pepper. And we got Olipop, which calls it Dr. Goodwin. And we have Poppies, which calls it Doc Pop. Doc Pop and Dr. Goodwin.
Ugh, no. This one smells bad. It smells like artificial grape juice. It has a very grapey essence, like a lollipop or a popsicle. This one's not bad. Oh, no, 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 no. This has some weird artificial, like, cherry or grape situation that tastes like medicine.
This one actually tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
This one does, for some reason, does taste like grape. So this one is definitely superior.
Yes, for sure.
Actually, I think I would put this in B tier. This is pretty good. Maybe even A tier.
No, not A.
The easy thing is, I think this is a D tier.
Yes.
This is really bad.
Yes.
They're so different, I don't know which is actually Poppi and which is Olipop.
Yeah, they're very different.
If I had to guess, this one Poppi D tier,
Yes.
and this one,
Olipop for sure, but I say it's a B.
and we're saying this is
Olipop.
Olipop?
Yeah.
This is Poppi.
Okay.
Wow, okay. Olipop, Dr. Pepper. Very bad.
Okay, so I think what we can kind of say from the flavors we've had is that Poppi is doing the classic flavors a little better.
Most of the Poppies do taste more like a classic soda than the Olipops, which have more of a twist to it.
They're trying to match the flavor better, whereas Olipop is okay not matching the flavor exactly, but using more natural ingredients.
Yes. Okay, this taste test got way too long. If you want to see us rank every single flavor, I'll upload that next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. For me though, Olipop tastes better than Poppi. Olipop has more fiber and more juice. Olipop didn't drop 25 mil on a campaign that backfired and hopefully puts that money toward making better drinks. Olipop has a snarkier social media manager, pulling out Wendy's level posts. And for those reasons, I'm an Olipop stan for now. But Allison could still sway me. Maybe send one of those vending machines my way next time. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.